Dave Coombs. Welcome to another edition of Sports for people who don't care that much about sports. Number one on the docket today, New York Yankees manager. How long are you going to carry this whole thing forward? You're interviewing people. You need to decide on a manager. This looks unseemly for the best franchise in baseball, one of the best franchises in sports. You know who you want to hire for the job. Probably not a guy like David Cone. Great pitcher, great player, pretty good broadcaster. Usually those types of guys don't fit the profile for somebody who's going to be a good manager. Joe Torre, one of the few exceptions. Great ball player, probably deserved to get into the Hall of Fame on his own merits as a player, and turned out to be a great manager for the Yankees as well. Number two on the docket, the whole situation with Jerry Jones versus the NFL over the renegotiation of Commissioner Roger Goodell. He's seeking almost $50 million in annual salary, plus the use of a private jet for the rest of his life. What does this guy have on the NFL? Does it really take that much money to run the National Football League, especially in its current state? They're having so many problems with public relations. You're telling me that you couldn't give a guy, I don't know, $8 million annually? $17 million? $29 million annually? You got to pay him $50 million and give him a jet? I say bye-bye to Roger Goodell. Get somebody better in the job, and let's turn the NFL around a little bit. And speaking of airplanes, poor Roy Halladay, the former pitcher, the late pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays and the Philadelphia Phillies, goes down in the private jet in the Gulf of Mexico. Understandably, apparently he was doing some stunts while he was flying over the Gulf of Mexico before his plane went into the drink. Feel bad for his family. This is horrible. But what was he doing purchasing and using an airplane that was essentially a prototype? Now, I understand even the designer of this plane died in a crash while testing this particular airplane. Listen, I might use a prototype pair of sneakers or an umbrella or something like that. I'm not getting into an airplane that's a prototype unless it's been tested over and over and over again. And probably not a good idea to be doing stunts over the Gulf of Mexico. Really feel sad for Roy Halladay because he seemed like the kind of player who was very careful, very cautious, and would never do something like that. So we'll remember him as a great ball player, but maybe the decisions he made in that airplane, or even purchasing that airplane, not the correct decisions. I'm Dave Coombs, and that's sports for people who don't care that much about sports.